the idea of a documentary is to say what's out there, and then how do you take what's out there in the world and turn it into this thing we make on the screen and on the speakers that doesn't exist anywhere else. How do we take that world and transfer it to film? And that's what we're trying to do in this class. And so what we do originally, we start looking at some documentaries, and we start saying, how does it do that job? And then we also think about documentary technique for ourselves, and that is, how do we make microphones get good sound? How do we take cameras and get good pictures? How do we take editors and put them together in a way that flows well enough to tell the story? And then we do some exercises, which are meant to show us how we can just create a simple little process and show it on screen. And we make a little mini documentary to get the sense of putting a bunch of shots together to tell a story made out of things that are real, made out of the things that are out in the world. The historical world, documentarists call it. And then we come up with an idea. As a class process, everybody in the class comes up with an idea of what would make a good documentary for the class to pursue. And then I ask people for their preferences, and I take them back. One of my favorite things is take it back and find out, well, what do people really want to do? And then I usually assign a group of the whole, or a couple of groups, to do this documentary or that documentary, all of which they have chosen. And then we go off and we do them, and we make documentaries. Well, for one thing, I want them to get a sense of how difficult it is to take the world and treat it in such a way that it becomes a story in a film. To realize that you think when you first come into a class like this that, oh yeah, I'm just going to go, there's something out there, and I'm going to go take pictures of it, and it's going to be done. I'm going to have a documentary. And then, after you shoot your first little bit, and you start to bring it back and put it together, you start thinking, well, I guess it's not as simple as all that. That you have to come up with this sense of, I'm really just treating this world out there, and I'm getting these pieces of it, and I'm going to take them, and I'm going to do something with them because I got the story I really want to tell. And then the goal is that students become adept at figuring out, well, I know how to tell this story. I know how to take what's out there, and I know how to tell a powerful story that people will really want to listen to and get something out of. We did 2 documentaries, and because they were student documentaries, one was on marijuana and one was on beer. And one of them came in first, and one of them came in second in the documentary category, which was pretty exciting. And the one that came in first, a documentary about microbreweries in Vermont, had the good fortune to go on and be a BAFTRA, B-A-F-T-R-A, which is essentially the same kind of organization that does the Academy Awards in the United States. And it went on to become a finalist in this British documentary competition that's pretty high level. When it comes time to look for work, if you are in one of the creative fields, it's really good to have good recommendations. It's really good to have good grades. It's good to have a transcript with the right degree. But what it comes down to is they're going to look at what have you done. And they're going to look at what have you done, meaning what can you do for me? And people have used the documentary in several instances. People have used material that they've shot for the documentary class as the main part of their portfolio. And we've got a lot of people who are working in video shooting and in video and film shooting and editing, who, when they first came out of Castleton, what they had to show more than anything else was the work they'd done on documentary.